Good afternoon, and we will be discussing the poetry written by Robert Browning. And the name of the poem is Rabbi Ben Ezra. The title in itself could be a difficult, could be a little difficult to comprehend. Rabbi Ben Ezra is actually a name of a Jewish person, and Rabbi is the title. Rabbi would roughly translate as a Jewish priest. So, we have to understand something about Judaism first. Judaism is one of the most ancient religion, and the three religions, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, not in the chronological order. If we move on to the chronological order, then Judaism, Christianity, and Islam are considered as the religions of Abrahamic creed. And Judaism was not founded by anybody. Judaism, just like Hinduism, and it started off with the creation of the world itself. And a rabbi could be considered as a Jewish priest, and the Jewish followers, the followers of Judaism, they worship God in the place of worship that is termed as or labeled as a synagogue. So rabbi, they pray and perform ecclesiastical duties in a synagogue. And then we move on to the poetry of Robert Browning. Robert Browning was one of the most prominent poets in English literature. He was a Victorian poet, and he mostly wrote classical poetries based on historical themes, and he is known for his remarkable style of writing poetry. And his forte was dramatic monologue. So Rabbi Ben Ezra is also written in the form of dramatic monologue. The poem is dramatic in its sense, and it is actually spoken from the mouth of the character, that is Rabbi Ben Ezra. So it is considered as a monologue, one person who is speaking, and the others are merely listeners. The role of the listener and the speaker never changes. The speaker remains a speaker, and the listener continues to remain a listener. Their roles are not reversed or interchanged. The poem is narrated by Rabbi Ben Ezra, a real 12th century scholar. He was living in 12th century, and Robert Browning wrote this poem in 19th century. The piece does not have a clearly identified audience or a dramatic situation. It is not clear, it is unclear. The rabbi begs his audience to grow old along with him. Line first. It is an invocation done by the rabbi in the line first of the poem. The rabbi begs his audience to grow old with him. He stresses that age is where the best of life is realized, that is, the old age. So it is ironical in some way. Whereas youth shows by half, he acknowledges that youth lacks insight into life, since it is characteristically so concerned with living in the moment that it is unable to consider the deeper question. So youths continue to live in the present, and they are infused with so much energy and so much excitement and so much enthusiasm that they care for nothing. Though youth will fade, what replaces it is the wisdom and insight of age, which recognizes that pain is a part of life, but which learns to appreciate joy more because of the pain. Be our joys 3 parts pain. It is a quoted words, line 34. All the while one should appreciate what comes, since all adds to our growth towards God and embraces the paradox that life's failure brings success. He notes how, when we are young and our bodies are strong, we aspire to impossible greatness, and he explains that this type of action makes a man into a brute. And this particular thing is included in line 44, line number 44. With age comes acceptance and love of the flesh, even though it pulls us ever to the earth. It is a quoted verse from Line 63. While some yearn to reach a higher plane, a wise older man realizes that all things are gifts from God and the flesh limitations are to be appreciated even as we recognize them as limitations. His reason for begging patience is that our life on earth is but one step of our soul experience, so our journey will continue. Whereas youth is inclined to rage. Line 100. Age is inclined to await death patiently. Both are acceptable and wonderful, and each complement the other. What complicates the philosophy is that we are want to disagree with each other, and in the diplomatic sense, we agree to disagree also, to have different values and loves. However, the rabbi begs that we not give too much credence to the earthly concerns. He begs us, he pleads his case. As we come to understand that Rabbi is old and he is vastly and greatly experienced person. So Rabbi begs that we not give too much credence to earthly concerns that engender argument and dissension, and trust instead that we are given by God and hence are fit for this struggle. So he invites us to surrender to the God completely. The transience of time does not matter. Since this is only one phase of our existence, we need not grow anxious about disagreements and unrealized goals. So, disagreements, dissensions, disappointments, unrealized goals will forever remain with us. A man could not be perfectly successful in his life. He will have some goals which are unfinished, yet to be realized, and he becomes too old to realize them. So, what he should have in his mind? A sense of contentment. Since the ultimate truth is out of our reach anyway, and there is no ultimate truth. Again, failure breeds success. He warns against being distracted by the plastic circumstance of the present moment. We live in the present, definitely, we all live, but we have our future plans intact with us, and we crave for realizing them, and we move ahead. He ends by stressing that all is part of a unified whole. And this is the biggest part of this poem, the most prominent and important part. And it could also be termed as a great philosophy on human life and existence on this earth, that all is a part of a unified whole. WHOLE, whole. Even if we cannot glimpse the whole, and nobody is able to see the whole. We see only a part of it. At the same time, that age should approve of youth and embrace the present moment, it must also be constantly looking upwards towards a heaven. And what lies above us? Heaven. Heaven is different from earth. Earth and heaven are two different entities. Looking upwards towards a heaven to come, and hence simultaneously willing to renounce the present. We will have to renounce the present in order to seek entrance into the heaven that lies above us. So that's all for today. We will continue discussing poetry in our forthcoming videos. Thanks for watching.